morning, Zio here, and today we're going back to Cyberpunk 2077 because that is the only news worth talking about. Well, besides tomorrow's KFC console thing. Anyway, sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and let's get into it, shall we? But yeah, here we go. We're gonna get in on this because we hadn't yet. I needed to. Should have probably already said something, but according to the title and whatnot, there's a corrupt save function. There's now a fix to said corrupt function, but their response was kind of probably the most newsworthy thing out of all of this. What was the response to it? But apparently, if you're on PC, and the consoles were being tested as well, but there was an issue where save files will get corrupted after they hit over 8 megs in size, and that's a big issue with an open world game with lots of crafting and other stuff. There were a lot of issues with this, and it's bad, right? How you can't foresee this. Having a hard cap on your file save size, probably not the best thing to do. There was a similar issue back on the PS3, if I remember correctly, with Skyrim, where it was having some really hard hard problems and corrupting files of very large save files that had been running for hours upon hours, where it too was having issues. But of course, we're talking about the PS3. We're talking about a console. This shouldn't really be an issue on PC for the most part, but here it is. Apparently, they put a little over 8 meg file size to the thing, and then there's a lot of issues. So what exactly causes these issues, and how to fix it, of course, right? But yeah, what causes this issue? When it was first being talked about, everybody was running around, it's because you duplicated all these items using a duplication glitch, therefore it corrupted your file. And then we found out that through a lot of sleuthing and testing and other stuff, that it was just because the file size went over 8 megs. Then, of course, we had people out there testing a bunch of other things as well, like how to actually get to that. Does anything in the game cause file bloat, among other stuff? And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. You had people testing out without duplication glitches, with duplication glitches, among other things, the crafting system and stuff. So essentially it came down to, hey, you built a bunch of grenades, for instance. We'll use grenades as an example. You built 1,000 grenades. I don't know exactly how much that adds to the file size, so we'll just we'll guess at this, right? Because I meant to bring up that whole thing where somebody had done it and I forgot to. So we're just going to make up some numbers real quick for example's sake, right? So you make 100 grenades, and let's say 100 grenades equals, or 1 grenade equals 1 kilobyte of data, and then you've got 100 kilobytes of data, right? So each grenade, 100 grenades, 100 kilobytes. Now, you get rid of those grenades. Either you sell them, you dismantle them, you destroy them, you use them, whatever it is, you lose all those grenades, right? That grenade file save data is still there. It's not there 100%. I think it's about 1/3 of the size. So instead of being 100, you're looking at, say, 33 kilobytes per grenade or something for those 100 grenades. Still stays in the save file, causing essentially data bloat on the file. So the more you craft, the more you pick up, the more things you do in the game, the more it adds to it. Even after you've gotten rid of it, you disassembled it, you broke it down, made it into something else or whatnot, part of the file still remains, causing a bloat onto the system, causing PC and even some consoles to teeter on the farther end of 8 megs very rapidly by just playing the game normally, right? And that's an issue. Is there a workaround for it? No, there was not a workaround for it. However, the response from developers at CD Projekt Red was a bit on the Asinine side. Their response to it was, one, start a new game. Essentially, they went on to talk about how their games are not made to be played forever, right? Which, I got that. You play The Witcher 3, you beat the boss, you play it again, starting a new character, and all that other stuff after you beat it. You're not supposed to then continue playing said character. But when it comes to things like GTA and Cyberpunk 2077 and Morrowind, Skyrim, whatever, all these open world RPG type games, we don't need, like, say, a new game plus, for instance, which was another thing they talked about as well. They said, that's why we don't have new game plus or new game plus or anything when we ship. And they added, like, new game plus to The Witcher 3 later on and all this other stuff after they fixed their issues, because apparently it also had a similar thing, except for people just didn't hit that cap, as notably that I can remember anyway. But yeah, so start a new character, right? Don't keep playing the same character, play different builds on different characters. Meanwhile, there are people out there who will play the same thing, reset skills and all this other stuff, and, keep playing different builds, trying different things and stuff on the same character. I happen to be one of those kinds of people. I don't like starting new characters unless I absolutely have to, or starting a brand new game unless I absolutely have to. I like to keep playing the same game and finding all the secrets, especially when achievements are involved. But anyway, so that's their plan to prevent it, right? That's what their response is. Don't do that. Also, kick back on the crafting, or slow down on the crafting, among other things. There was a frog or something in my throat. I'm going to need a refill on coffee before I do any more recording. But anyway, yeah, seriously, craft and loot sparingly. That's not something that you want to hear when you're playing an open world game with a robust crafting system. It's like, yeah, I know it's there. Don't do it, though. So essentially, the way to fix this is to not play the game. You can play it that reviewer style, where you sort of skip everything kind of deal and not actually play it. Because, that's how the reviewers do it, and how they don't find things like this, because they don't sit down and log in, hundreds of hours into the game. Just 3. But anyway, keep an eye on total playtime. Of course, that also affects it. People, you put in more than 70 to 100 hours, there's a good chance you're gonna exceed your file size limit. Woohoo! It's not what you want to hear about an RPG. Or an open world action, whatever they're classifying 27 as. Always have backups. Well, that's just normal. Save often, save a lot, and save a new file when something's going to happen, just in case, right? Because you never know when you may have to reload that save because you done effed up and there's no going back. It's happened before. Soft locking yourself is not a fun thing. But anyway, they do have a fix finally. Right? About 4 days ago, because this was all news last week and I'm getting to it super late, like always, because, holidays and stuff. By the way, hope you had a good holiday. And if you're still here, subscribe to the channel if you made it this far. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 corrupt save bug fixed in a new patch, which was another thing. They weren't 100% sure if they were going to fix it too. There was other statements as well about how they're thinking they might get around to fixing it, but it's not exactly a priority kind of thing to them. And it's not really something they were planning on because, like I said earlier, they don't expect you to play the game for 70 plus hours on one save file. They want you to make a new character, which of course, telling me how to play my damn game isn't something that gamers like to hear. But yeah, they did put out a thing. Cyberpunk 2077 players have been losing hours of progress when their save games get too many items, crafting material in their inventory, but hotfix 1.06 fixes this issue. CD Projekt Red notes that this won't fix save files corrupted before the update. Of course not. But the 0.06 update also fixes a glitch where Dum Dum would go missing from the whatever Tetrazen entrance during the second conflict quest. So that also happens to be a thing. There should also be fewer crashes on console now, thanks to improved memory management and stability. So they fixed it. They've thrown out a patch out there to help fix it, but this is a disaster. Most anticipated game in years, and it is a complete disaster. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya.